Soccer is everything, you know? Be able to play in 3 World Cups, it's given me everything that I have. For a soccer player, to put on a national team jersey is one of the most special things you'll ever get to do. Walking into the locker room, your heart's pumping a million miles a minute while you're putting on the shirt. You get chills because you're finally living the dream that you want. But to have been able to put on that shirt, I believe it's 128 times to represent my country, was pretty special. It's special because it's something my dad did. My dad got to play against Pele, and he played professional in Argentina. So when you're Argentinian, it's not a lifestyle, it's a religion. And it's in the blood. It's in everything he used to do. As we grew up and we started playing soccer, my dad coached us. We started understanding of what soccer was in our family. The sacrifices he would make. He would work graveyard shift, basically come home. We'd get home from school, and next thing you know, it was homework and then out for soccer for an hour and a half, 2 hours with my dad doing individual training, me and my brother. It was definitely not an easy road. It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of sacrifice. God gave us an ability to do something, and he gave me the ability to play soccer. Now, my dad put me in an environment, which is important, that would help me develop that as quick as possible. My dad knew that I was going to be a center back, so he started working on those kind of things. He told me one day, he's like, listen, anybody can defend, but in order for you to stick out and for people to notice you, you've got to be dangerous going forward. If you don't go forward, you're just another defender like everybody else. I was blessed with a certain amount of ability, and my dad pushed hard to make sure I developed the other side of it. Paul Gardner, who is a very well-known writer in soccer, wrote an article that I was Rambo of soccer. I was a guy that was going to self-destruct because I played so hard and so physical. Not the most technically gifted. I'm well aware of my strengths and weaknesses, but I was a guy who played with his heart on his sleeve. I was a guy that would do anything for the team. That was my mentality. And my dad made a statement one day which was kind of interesting. He's like, if I was to put a wall here and put the ball on the other side, your brother would find a way around it, over the top. He would find a way to get to the ball, but it wouldn't be a direct route. I, on the other hand, my dad would say, would run through the wall to get to the ball. So that kind of summed up who I was as a player. I was a guy who would run, fight, kick. I would do anything to win. Playing in a World Cup is special enough, but playing in front of your home country is something incredible. We were supposed to be a celebration of soccer in the United States in '94. This was going to be the first time the US would host a World Cup. This would be the first time the whole world would see what the US had, the pressure we had to perform, not just for ourselves, but for soccer. This was our opportunity to show the world that soccer can flourish here in the United States. When we saw the draw that we got Colombia, we thought, okay, you know, we got the #1 team in the world. You know, and you've got guys like Valderrama, and you've got guys like Leo and Rincon, some of the best players in the world. I think we've played them like 5 times leading into that World Cup, and we've lost every time. But man, did it change quickly. When we walked out that day, for some reason, it wasn't the same team. It wasn't the same free-flowing, knocking the ball around, kind of dancing around us, because they danced. When Valderrama had the ball, he danced on the ball. And little by little, we grew in confidence, and we grew in confidence, and then you know, we get a goal, off an own goal, off their center back, Escobar, and again, you just kind of started feeling, okay, this may be our day. But we would have never thought in our wildest dreams that when Colombia got knocked out, that you would see a player that you played 2 weeks ago shot and killed. We all make mistakes in a game. It was a lot of emotion in that whole beating of Colombia. We celebrated like we won the World Cup. Then you find out a few weeks later that this guy who you just played against got killed because they scored an own goal against the US. And it was a very strange time for us. You know, I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know how my career lasted as long as it did the way I played. I tore my MCL, I tore my ACL, I tore my meniscus, I fractured my face, I had an ankle surgery. So maybe the willingness not to give up, the willingness to fight for something you love and what your dream is, maybe the stubbornness that I have in me that will fight until I can no longer fight, because I love soccer. It's in my blood, it's my passion, and I wasn't gonna give up on a dream that I had since I was a little kid, no matter what. Don't give up on a dream. Open opportunities, find opportunities. Put yourself in an environment where you're uncomfortable, because that's where you're gonna learn. Having my dad as a coach sucked. But at the end of the day, he's your dad, you love him, you understand why he did it and how he did it. You look back at your career when you retire, you're saying, God, I don't know if I would have got here if it wasn't for my dad doing this and doing that. And I don't give mom enough credit, but mom was the saving grace sometimes, you know, the calm, the cool, the nurturing, give me a hug, you know, kind of that's what mom was about. I'm Marcelo Balboa, and I used to play for the U.S. national team and also the Colorado Rapids.
And what a day for Marcelo Balboa. He makes one of the great milestones of international soccer with 100 caps. You can't be happier for a guy who's worked so hard to be a part of this U.S. team.